To all. Today we are going to discuss a topic on diarrheagenic Escherichia coli and diarrhea caused by Shigella. First, we are going to discuss about Escherichia coli causing diarrhea. Escherichia coli was described first by Ehrlich in 1885. E. coli is the most important species encountered as human pathogen. It is also the most common aerobe to be harbored in the gut of humans and animals. The organism, after excreted in feces, it remains viable only for some days in the environment. Hence, reduction of E. coli, especially a variant called thermotolerant E. coli, which survives at 44 degrees Celsius, is the indicator of recent contamination of drinking water with the human feces or animal feces. Factors of E. coli. It is grouped into surface antigen and toxins. Surface antigens are 4 types. They are somatic or O antigen, flagellar or H antigen, capsular antigen or K antigen, fimbrial antigen. The exotoxins secreted by E. coli are of several types. They are enterotoxin, serotoxic necrotizing factor 1, and secreted autotransporter toxin. Properties of enterotoxin of Escherichia coli. It includes heat labile toxin, heat stable toxin, viroserotoxin or Shiga toxin. Heat labile toxin is produced by enterotoxigenic Escherichia coli, which resembles cholera toxin in its structure and function, but it is less potent than the cholera toxin. It has 2 peptide fragments, A and B. Heat stable toxin is produced by enterotoxigenic E. coli. Mechanism of action is it binds to the guanylate cyclase C and cause increased production of cyclic GMP, which cause fluid accumulation in the gut lumen, thereby cause diarrhea. Viroserotoxin or Shiga toxin produced by enterohemorrhagic Escherichia coli. It is also called as serotoxic to viro cell lines. Mechanism of action, it has 2 fragments, A and B fragment. B fragment binds to globotriaosine ceramide receptors on the intestinal epithelium. And fragment B, which is active fragment, inhibits the protein synthesis by inhibiting the 16S ribosomal subunit. Heat labile toxin is plasmic coated and heat stable toxin is also plasmic coated and Shiga toxin is a bacteriophage coated. In heat labile toxin, the toxin is detected by latex agglutination method or by enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay method. Molecular methods includes polymerase chain reaction, detects the gene coding for labile toxin. Similarly, for heat stable toxin, the similar reduction will applicable. Then Shiga toxin is detected serologically by latex agglutination method or by enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay method. Molecular methods, which includes using the specific DNA probe and the culture on the serotoxicity on viro and HeLa cell lines. Clinical manifestation of E. coli, it caused diarrhea. So it produced 6 pathotypes of diarrheagenic E. coli are enteropathogenic E. coli, enterotoxigenic E. coli, enteroinvasive E. coli, enterohemorrhagic E. coli, enteroaggregative E. coli, and last, diffusely adherent E. coli. Other clinical features includes abdominal infection, pneumonia, especially in hospitalized patient, which cause ventilator-associated pneumonia, meningitis, especially in neonates cause neonatal meningitis, wound and soft tissue infection, bacterial posthydraitis, most common cause by E. coli, osteomyelitis, and endovascular infection and bacteremia. Laboratory diagnosis of E. coli infection. Sample collection, it depends on the site of infection, like urine, stool, pus, wound swab, blood, and cerebrospinal fluid samples that can be collected. And direct smear of these samples shows gram-negative bacilli and pus cells. Then culture in blood agar shows gray moist colonies. In McConkey agar, it shows flat pink lactose fermenting colonies. Culture smear shows gram-negative bacilli and motility shows it is motile organism. Biochemical test shows catalase test is positive, oxidase test is negative, indole test is positive, citrate test negative, urease test negative, triple sugar ion test shows acidic slant and gut is acidic. There is production of gas with no H2S. Automated systems such as MALDI-TOF or Vitek can also be used to find out the organism, and we have to perform the antimicrobial susceptibility testing. As I told, on McConkey agar, it shows flat pink lactose fermenting colonies. And on gram staining of the culture smear shows slender gram-negative bacilli. Sample collection in E. coli infection. In cellulitis or wound infection, you can collect the pus, exudates, and wound swab. In case of urinary tract infection, you can collect a clean mid-stream urine sample. In case of diarrhea, stool is the ideal specimen. In case of meningitis, CSF fluid you can collect. In peritonitis, peritoneal exudates. In pneumonia, sputum is a sample. And ventilator-associated pneumonia can take the tracheal aspirate. In bacteremia, blood is the ideal sample. Coming to diarrhenic E. coli, antigenically it is different from the common salts E. coli, which colonizes the intestine. So only few serotypes of E. coli which express the enterotoxin or other virulence mechanisms can cause diarrhea. World Health Organization estimated that more than 300 million illness and nearly 2 lakh deaths are caused by diarrhenic E. coli globally each year. As we saw, there are 6 pathotypes of diarrhenic E. coli. Enteropathogenic E. coli, it frequently causes the infantile diarrhea. It causes outbreaks in infants and occasionally causes sporadic diarrhea in adult. It is spread from person to person. It is non-toxigenic and non-invasive. Its mechanism of diarrhea includes it adheres to the intestinal mucosa, which is mediated by plasmid-coated bundle-forming pili, which form cup-like projections called pedestals. It shows attaching and effacing lesions. These lesions are produced on the intestinal epithelium, which leads to disruption of brush border epithelium, causing increased secretions and watery diarrhea. Enterotoxigenic E. coli is the most common cause of traveler's diarrhea, causing 25 to 75% of the cases. It causes acute watery diarrhea in infants and adults. It is toxigenic but non-invasive. Pathogenesis is by attached to the intestinal mucosa, which is mediated by fimbrial protein called colonization factor antigen. And the toxin production is by heat labile toxin, which acts by increasing cyclic GMP, and heat stable toxin, which acts by increasing cyclic GMP. So diagnosis is by the reduction of toxin. Enteroinvasive Escherichia coli is biochemically, genetically, and pathogenically closely related to Shigella. So it is not toxigenic, but it is invasive. The epithelial cell invasion is mediated by the plasmid-coated antigen called virulence marker antigen. Clinical features includes bowel ulceration, dysentery, that is diarrhea with mucus and blood, called bacillary dysentery, which resembles shigellosis, and diagnosis it by detection of virulence marker antigen by ELISA, HeLa cell invasion assay, and biochemically it shows non-motile and lactose non-fermentor. Enterohemorrhagic E. coli is prevalent mainly in the industrialized country. The serotypes associated with this enterohemorrhagic infection is the O antigen 157 and the flagellar H antigen 7 is the most common serotype. However, other strains may account for up to 50% of enterohemorrhagic Escherichia coli infection, among which O antigen 104 and flagellar H antigen 4 strains of enteroaggregative Escherichia coli is important. It is transmitted by contaminated food consumption like lettuce, spinach, sprouts, especially undercooked ground beef. The recent outbreak of enterohemorrhagic E. coli is reported in 2020 in United States was due to the consumption of clover sprouts that is contaminated with Escherichia coli O antigen 103. The low infective dose is only few organisms, that is less than 10^2 bacilli is required to initiate the infection. Enterohemorrhagic Escherichia coli secretes a toxin called viroceratoxin or shigotoxin. Therefore, it is called as shigotoxin producing Escherichia coli. It resembles with shigotoxin produced by Shigella dysentery type 1. It acts by inhibiting the protein synthesis by inhibiting 16S ribosomes. It is of two types, shigotoxin 1 and shigotoxin 2. Clinical features includes shigotoxin is as a predilection for endothelial cells, it causing capillary microangiopathy, so which leads to the hemorrhagic colitis and hemorrhagic uremic syndrome. Diagnosis is by using the special culture media like sorbitol, McConkey agar, which does not ferment the sorbitol, and rainbow agar. Toxin reduction by demonstration of cytotoxicity in the Viro cell line, which is gold standard method. Fecal toxin reduction by ELISA or by rapid test. Enteroaggregative E. coli is so named because it adheres to HIP2 cells in a distinct pattern, layering of the bacteria aggregated in a stack brick fashion. Most strains are O untypeable but H typeable. Pathogenesis is intestinal colonization is mediated by a aggregative adhesion fimbria 1, which is regulated by the aggregatory R gene. This also produces enteroaggregative heat stable enterotoxin 1. It produces a persistent and acute diarrhea that is commonly seen especially in developing countries, can also cause traveler's diarrhea and persistent diarrhea in infants. Diagnosis is made by reduction of aggregatory R and aggregatory autotransporter A gene by polymerase chain reaction, and HIP2 adherence test is gold standard. Escherichia coli, O antigen 104 and H. flagellar 4. It is an enteroaggregative strain that has caused major outbreak in Germany in 2011. One peculiar feature of the strain is it produces shigotoxin and can cause hemolytic uremic syndrome. Diffusely adherent Escherichia coli, it has ability to adhere to HIP2 cells in a diffuse pattern. It expresses diffuse adherence fimbriae which contribute to the pathogenesis. Diffusely adherent Escherichia coli is capable of causing diarrheal disease in children of age 2 to 6 years. Treatment of diagenic E. coli. The main treatment is to replace the fluids, loss of fluids, and use of antimicrobials. Generally, it is avoided. The following are the situations where antibiotics may be considered, like in traveler's disease caused by enterotoxinic Escherichia coli or enteroaggregative Escherichia coli. In enteroinvasive Escherichia coli and enterohemorrhagic Escherichia coli, and Escherichia coli strains like O antigen 104 and H. flagellar 4 and enteroaggregative Escherichia coli. For traveler's diarrhea caused by enterotoxigenic or enteroaggregative Escherichia coli, only for severe traveler's diarrhea, azithromycin is indicated. Rifaximin and oral non-absorbable antibiotics can also be given. In enteroinvasive Escherichia coli, although the infection is self-limited, antibiotics like azithromycin is indicated as it fasts the recovery, especially in severe cases. In enterohemorrhagic E. coli and E. coli strains O antigen 104 and H. flagellar 4 antigen, cotrimoxazole, beta-lactams, metronidazole should be avoided as they precipitate the hemolytic uremic syndrome. If treatment has to be started, example, if positive blood culture is there. Azithromycin is the preferable option. In enteroaggregative Escherichia coli, only immunocompromised patient, ciprofloxacin is given for 3 to 7 days. Shigella infection or shigellosis. Shigella is the most important agent of bacillary dysentery, which was named after a Japanese microbiologist, Kiyoshi Shiga, who isolated the first member, Shigella dysentery serotype 1, the Shiga bacillus, in 1896 from epidemic dysentery. Classification is based on a combination of biochemical and serological characteristics based on O antigen. Shigella, they are classified into 4 species: Shigella dysentery, Shigella flexneri, Shigella boydii, and Shigella soni. Based on O antigen, each species is further typed into several serotypes. Shigella dysentery has 15 serotypes. Shigella flexneri and Shigella boydii have 8 and 19 serotypes respectively. Shigella soni, which is antigenically homogeneous and has only 1 serotype, it can be typed by Polisson typing into 26 Polisson types. Pathogenesis. Shigella is the important cause of bacillary dysentery. The main thing, we have to differentiate the Shigella, which is causing dysentery, from the Entaeba histolytica causing dysentery. So, based on the ulcer pattern and based on the intervening mucosa and macroscopic appearance of the stool sample, presence of RBC, presence of organisms, and presence of chalcodyl crystals, number of times patients passing motion, this is the color of the stool sample, order, and the other features, we can differentiate the Shigella causing dysentery and the Entaeba histolytica causing dysentery. So the mode of transmission of Shigella causing dysentery is through the contaminated fingers, most common cause. And also, when the food and the water is contaminated with the Shigella dysentery organisms. Whereas in Entaeba histolytica causing dysentery, the dysentery is caused by the contaminated food and the water by the cyst of Entaeba histolytica. For Shigella causing dysentery, the mode of transmission is also rarely by the flies, and it can also be transmitted sexually, especially by homosexuals. So in E. coli, we saw a low infective dose of less than 10^2 bacilli. Here in Shigella, the minimum infective dose is as low as 10 to 100 bacilli. Probably because of the ability to survive in the gastric acidity, very low infective dose is required for the Shigella to cause dysentery. In pathogenesis, the Shigella organisms, they enter via the M cells that is present in the intestinal epithelium. Invasion is determined by the large virulence plasmid that is present in the Shigella bacteria, which codes for the important virulence factor, this invasion plasmid antigen proteins and type 3 secretion system. This type 3 secretion system is very, very important in causing the pathogenesis in case of shigellosis. And there is a direct cell-to-cell spread also takes place, which is mediated by the Shigella flexneri adhesion proteins by the type 3 secretion system. And Shigella also secretes toxins like exotoxins, such as Shigella enterotoxin and Shiga toxins. And last, endotoxin. Mostly this endotoxin is produced by variety of gram-negative bacteria. Clinical features, it evolves through 5 phases. Incubation period is usually lasts for 1 to 4 days. Initial phase, it causes watery diarrhea with fever, malaise, loss of appetite, otherwise we call it anorexia, and vomiting. and patient will have a phase of dysentery. They experience the phase of dysentery, like they frequently pass a bloody mucopurulent stools, increased tenesmus, that is rectal pain, rectal irritation, and abdominal pain. And the fourth phase is the phase of complication, especially it is seen in children of less than 5 years of age. It causes intestinal complications, metabolic complications, it causes Achilles syndrome or toxic encephalopathy. And fifth stage is the post-infectious phase, especially patients, they express the human leukocyte antigen B27. They will develop an autoimmune reaction a month after the shigellosis. So these are the 5 phases the patients will undergo after Shigella infections. So coming to epidemiology, who are the risk factors for shigellosis? People who are overcrowded and those who are having very poor personal hygiene, children of less than 5 years of age. It tends to occur as an epidemic in developing countries such as Indian subcontinent and sub-Saharan Africa. So Shigella flexneri, maximum number of cases, 60% of cases seen in developing areas, including India. And Shigella soni is more prevalent in developed and the industrialized world, accounting for 77% of the cases. Cases caused by Shigella dysentery type 1 was associated with high mortality. Usually it causes epidemics of dysentery, particularly in refugee camps. One are the natural host and cases are only the source of infection. So worldwide, shigellosis is the most communicable diseases among the bacteria causes of diarrhea. So worldwide, 163 million cases of bacillary dysentery with 5 to 11 lakhs deaths will occur annually, of which majority are from only developing countries. Children less than 5 years, the accounts for nearly 16% of the cases. Lab diagnosis, stool is the ideal specimen and rectal swabs are not satisfactory. Specimen should be transported immediately or it should be sent in the transmute media like SACH, buffered glycerol saline. Wet mount preparation of the stool sample will show a large number of pus cells, erythrocytes and the macrophages. Culture the organism. The organisms, that is normal flora, is present in the intestine has to be inhibited. So we're using some special media, culture media, to inhibit the commensals. So fecal specimen is inoculated simultaneously into the enrichment broth and selective media. Enrichment broth include selenite F broth, tetrathionate broth, and gram-negative broth. Selective media such as mildly selective media like McConkie agar, highly selective media like DCA and the Exeldi agar is used to grow the Shigella bacteria. Culture smear. When doing culture smear for gram strain, it shows short gram-negative bacilli. Motility test, it is non-motile. And from gram strain itself, we can see some non-capsulated, non-sporing organisms. Identification is made either by the automated identification system such as Vitek or by conventional biochemical test like your indole, triple sugar ion test, citrate, urease, and the mannitol fermentation test. Shigella is catalase positive except Shigella dysentery serotype 1. Other Shigella species, they are catalase positive. And all Shigella species shows oxidase negative. So biochemical test showing indole test negative, citrate test negative, urease test negative, triple sugar ion which shows alkaline and the acidic bud. And gas is absent. H2S is also absent. All Shigella species, they are mannitol fermenter except Shigella dysentery. Diagnosis by the automated methods in MALDI-TOF. It will differentiate Shigella from the E. coli as they share the same ribosomal proteins. We can perform serotyping. Pollution typing can be done for Shigella soni and antimicrobial survey testing. Based on that, we have to narrow down the antibiotics. Treatment of shigellosis. Because of the prompt transmissibility, current recommendation is that every case of shigellosis should be treated with antibiotics. Ciprofloxacin is a drug of choice. Alternative drugs, which includes ceftriaxone, azithromycin, permethylene, and some fifth generation fluoroquinolones can also be used to treat the shigellosis. Initially, we can start the broad spectrum antibiotics for the treatment, but based on the antibiotic susceptibility, we have to narrow down the antibiotics. So, as this Shigella, it causes the dysentery, it's showing the a high mortality rate as it was dysentery. It is presence of blood in the feces, stool sample with mucus, and it causes intestinal complications also. So, a vigorous treatment has to be started in the patients who are presenting or who are showing the signs and symptoms of Shigella. But before that, we have to differentiate dysentery that is caused by Shigella and Entaeba histolytica, which is parasites that is causing dysentery. Based on that, we have to start the treatment as Entaeba histolytica will also cause some extraintestinal complications. Like it causes amoebic colitis, amoeboma, chronic amoebic colitis, and it will spread to the other organs like liver. It causes amoebic liver abscess or chocolate color abscess, anchovy sauce abscess. It causes peritonitis, amoebic peritonitis, then amoebic appendicitis. Then it will affect your appendix, cause amoebic appendicitis. So it enters the diaphragm, enters your pleural cavity, cause amoebic pleuritis, amoebic pericarditis, and it will seeps into your subcutaneous tissues, causing amoebic cutis. So many intestinal complications is caused by Entaeba histolytica. So it is our responsibility to differentiate the dysentery caused by a Shigella dysentery and also by other species of Shigella, and dysentery caused by Entaeba histolytica. So for bacterial infections, bacteria, that is Shigella causing dysentery, the different treatment we are going to follow, and dysentery caused by Entaeba histolytica, a different treatment we are going to follow. Like for Shigella causing dysentery, we have to give antibiotics and symptomatic treatment. Like patients, if you are having severe diarrhea, we have to replace the fluid and replace the electrolyte imbalance, and symptoms has to be treated. And also dysentery caused by the parasite Entaeba histolytica, patients will pass the diarrhea very frequently per day, many episodes. Patient will feel very tired. So depends on the symptoms. So the patients will lose the electrolytes as they passing many diarrhea in a day. So you have to replace the fluid. So we have to start the oral rehydration therapy. And you have to monitor the pulse rate, blood pressure monitoring, and complete blood count. Because as it is parasitic infection, it mainly affects your blood count. Complete blood count has to be monitored, and patient vitals has to be monitored. So treatment is different. Like we will give some antiparasitic drugs like mebendazole, metronidazole, tinidazole, based on the severity. The patient is not able to take the antiparasitic drugs orally, we can start intravenous antibiotics, just comfortable to the patient. The duration of treatment is about 3 days. except for Shigella dysentery type 1 infection, we have to give the antibiotics for 5 days. And patient, immunocompromised patient, where there is infection, we have to extend the drug therapy. It has to be given for 7 to 10 days, nearly 1.5 weeks. We have to continue the treatment. As I told, the patient will have loss of fluids, electrolytes from their body, to replace that by oral rehydration solution. So it is started for correction of dehydration and nutrition. It should be started as soon as possible after the completion of initial rehydration. So ORS is very, very important for the patient who are losing the fluids from the body. So we can prevent. So you have to maintain your hand hygiene. This hand washing is important after handling the children's pieces and before handling of the food, which is highly recommended before serving any food. Okay, you have to perform some hand hygiene. And also stool decontamination with the disinfectants like sodium hypochlorite. It has proven usefulness. And no vaccines are available against this shigellosis. It is currently available, though several clinical trials they are being conducted. So prevention is very, very important. In order to prevent, we can avoid from infection with both dysentery caused by Shigella dysentery, that is bacterial causes, and parasitic causes, which causes dysentery. Which parasite? That is Entaeba histolytica.